Hello neighbors, welcome to the segment where I try to answer some whiskey questions. Today I want to talk about what is Scotch, what is bourbon, what is Canadian whiskey? Is it just geography? That's actually a big part of the definition. But let's start with Scotch. So, Scotch, Scotland, made in Scotland, that's key. You know, this is Craigellachie's 17-year-old single malt, so it's one distillery, all malted barley. But Scotch doesn't have to be all malted barley. Typical blended Scotch has a little bit of maybe corn or other grains in it. So a key thing here is made in Scotland, 3 years or older. I believe it has to be oak, typically ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, new oak. They can have some other things, but basically aged in oak 3 or more years, cereal grains, 40% made in Scotland. This Craigellachie, I find it like rich, fruity on the nose. And that palate adds some depth, huskiness, a little bit of diesel. That's a good Scotch. Moving on to bourbon. You know, bourbon is a huge whiskey around the world, this time spelled with an E. This is Elijah Craig barrel proof, made in the United States of America. It's typically a mash bill product, so there's going to be like corn and rye and malted barley, but it must be at least 51% corn. And another key is new charred oak. This one, oh, it's so different. Sweet, but punchy, spicy, cinnamons, a little more peppers, lots more heat. But this is a cask strength or barrel proof product. Age is a little bit tougher. Straight bourbon, 4 years or more unless they say. Regular bourbon, I can't find a requirement for age stamp. Key thing for both of these, no additives. What you see, what you get. Moving on to Canadian whiskey, something I should know a little more about being here in Canada. This is from Crown Royal, it's winter wheat, released at 40%, distilled from cereal grain, aged in small wood, not necessarily oak. I got that wrong in the last video. This winter wheat, you know, it's sweeter than these. Yeah, let's be Canadian. Maple syrup, sugars. But I like this one for a typical Canadian because it does add a little more husky. It's 45%, a little more oaks. And there's even some fruits in there. This is a good Canadian whiskey. One of the most challenging things about Canadian whiskey, though, is the 909 rule. And that says, like, we can add up to 9.09% of 2-year-old or older spirit. Originally, I think it was bourbon to try to beat taxes in a tariff war. And then we can add up to 909, I think, other things like wine. Now, we can't just add sugar water or whatever. It can be wine or 2-year-old or older spirit. Ask me anything you'd like me to answer. I'm starting with kind of broad questions, but I'd love to get into something that you want to hear more about.